If you're a homeowner in Metro Atlanta wondering, should I sell now or should I wait? This video is for you. Because the truth is, 2026 is not a bad market, but it is a more strategic market. And that changes how you need to make this decision. In this video, I'm going to break down what the Metro Atlanta market is actually doing right now, what that means for homeowners, and how to know whether selling now makes sense for your situation or whether waiting would put you in a better position. So if you want to sell with clarity and move with confidence, stay with me. And before we get into it, if you're thinking about buying, selling, or moving anywhere in Metro Atlanta, I'd love to help. Every single week, people just like you reach out because they're trying to figure out their next move, whether that's selling a long-time home, moving up, downsizing, or relocating into the area. If that sounds like you, my contact information is right there in the description, and you can reach out whenever you're ready. I'm Nakia Moore with Nakia Sells Atlanta, and my goal is to make your move feel informed, calm, and well-planned. Let's start with what the market is actually doing right now. In Atlanta, February 2026, last month, median sale prices came in at about $389,000, which was up about 2% from the year earlier. Active listings were up roughly 23,390, which means buyers have more choices than they had last year. At the same time, about 4,644 homes sold in February, which tells you buyers are still in the market, but they're moving with more selectiveness than urgency. So what does that mean in plain English? Prices are still holding and even rising in many parts of the metro, but inventory has loosened up enough that sellers cannot rely on the market to do all the work for them. This is not the kind of market where you can just throw a home online, overprice it, and expect multiple offers just because inventory is low. Buyers are watching value more closely, comparing options more carefully, and taking their time before they commit. That means strategy matters more now than hype. Another piece of the puzzle is rates. Freddie Mac's weekly survey showed the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate at 6.11% on March 12, 2026, yesterday. That is not cheap money, and it absolutely affects affordability for buyers. But it has not stopped the market. It has just made buyers more payment conscious, more negotiation minded, and more likely to reward homes that feel move-in ready and properly priced from day one. Now, if you're asking whether you should sell now, here's the first thing I want you to understand. Metro Atlanta is not one single market. West End, Oakland City, East Point, and Hapeville are a different conversation than Sandy Springs, Brookhaven, Chamblee, North Fulton, or Buckhead. Price point, condition, school preferences, commute patterns, and buyer expectations all shift from area to area. So the right timing for one homeowner may not be the right timing for another homeowner. That said, there are some very clear signs that selling now may be the smart move. Number one, if you already have strong equity and you know your next move, that is a big advantage. Number two, if your home is in good showing condition or can be made market ready quickly, you can compete well even in a more balanced market. And number three, if your life is already pushing you towards a move, whether that's a job change, more space, less space, school changes, or relocation, the market doesn't need to be perfect for the move to make sense. In fact, a lot of movement in Atlanta is still local movement. Redfin's migration data showed that 72% of Atlanta homebuyers looking during late 2025 were trying to stay within the metro area, not leave it. That matters because many sellers are also buyers here. They're selling in one part of Metro Atlanta and moving to another part that fits their next season better. And that creates a real opportunity for move-up sellers, downsizers, and families repositioning within the market. So now here's when waiting may make more sense. If your home needs repairs, cosmetic updates, decluttering, or staging work that would clearly improve the final sale price, sometimes the better move is not to rush. If you do not yet know where you're going next, that can also create unnecessary pressure and lead to decisions you'll regret. And if your equity position is thinner than you expected, or your payment on the next home would feel uncomfortable at today's rates, it may be wise to build a plan before you list. But I also want to be careful here because waiting is not automatically safer. A lot of homeowners sat there waiting for rates to drop, for prices to rise more, or for the market to get easier. But the problem with that is when rates do ease, more buyers typically step back in and more competition can show up on the buy side. And when more listings hit the market, sellers may have even more competition than they had today. So waiting only helps if you're using that time to improve your position. One of the biggest mistakes I see homeowners make is using national headlines to decide what to do with a very local move. National news may say one thing, but your neighborhood, your price point, and your home condition may be telling a very different story. For example, even across Metro Atlanta, the overall data shows prices up modestly while inventory is also up, which means this is a market where preparation and pricing have to work together. It's not enough to know what Atlanta is doing. You need to know what your slice of Atlanta is doing. So here's the framework I'd use if I were helping you make this decision right now. First, what would your home likely sell for in today's market? Not in your best case scenario, but in the real market. Second, what would you need to do to the home to attract the strongest buyer response? And third, where are you going next, and what would that next move cost you monthly? And fourth, what happens if you stay put for another 6 to 12 months? Does that improve your position or just delay a move you already know you needed to make? If those answers point towards clarity, enough equity, and a workable next step, selling now may be exactly the right move. If those answers reveal too many loose ends, then your best next step may be a prep plan instead of an immediate listing. Either way, the goal is not to guess. The goal is to make a smart decision based on timing, numbers, condition in your actual life, not the headlines. That is how homeowners protect their equity and move with confidence in a market like this. And one more thing. In Atlanta, Redfin says the median sales price was about $392,585 in February 2026, up 3.3 year over year, while homes sold after about 86 days on average on the market. That tells me this is still a functioning market with real buyer demand, but patience, positioning, and presentation matter. Serious buyers are still buying. They're just not rewarding sloppy pricing or homes that feel unprepared. If this video helped you, the next one you should watch is Selling and Buying at the Same Time in Metro Atlanta, How Homeowners Make the Move Without Chaos. That one will be coming soon, later this week, and will help you understand how to line up both sides of the move without feeling rushed, financially stretched, or overwhelmed. I'll link it down in the description when that video comes out, and I'll see you in the next video.